I'm Susan Grimaldi. I was a selectman from 2000 to 2003. So when I speak of the different things that I've actually experienced and see how the charter can improve things, you'll know some of my background. And also, I am the chairperson for the East Long Meadow Home Rule Charter. And this happens to be, I guess you'd call it like an open letter to the community, and is by people of like minds. So the Friends of the Charter look forward to better town government. Yes, we are in favor of the charter, and you probably should be too. We have confidence in the commission that our townspeople elected. Everyone says they are good, solid, smart people. Between them, they have over 350 years of residency in our town. They worked almost a year on this project, and this is their unanimous recommendation. Unanimous, not 7-2 like back in 2004. In a republic, voters choose trusted men and women to represent their interests and devote their time and study that the people cannot. This is what we have done by electing the commission. Now we must have some confidence in their recommendations. The charter addresses the issues we told them were important to us as townspeople. The commission held 3 public hearings and multiple visits with town officials and boards. They heard our concerns and the lack of coordination, cooperation, and communication between boards and departments made dealing with the town on any issue very cumbersome and frustrating. We asked for a more streamlined process. They heard our concern about the lack of prompt decision making and action by the town administrator, and they noted that the last 2 administrators had resigned in frustration over that issue. They heard that the town meeting was ill-attended, too infrequent, too inefficient, and obsolete for the 21st century. They heard a strong request for more opportunities for citizens to address town officials and to file petitions, and for recall of rogue officials. Overall, the citizens said they wanted major changes, professional management, more accountability, and faster decisions and action. The town council, town manager structure is responsive to all these concerns, not just 1 or 2. It's about a whole lot more than 2 rogue selectmen. The state of Massachusetts only allows for 5 structures. You can't mix and match. The other structures are not as appealing. A mayor does not require special training or education. He or she runs a political campaign and gets elected. He or she cannot be fired. Recall is very difficult. By contrast, the charter provides that the town council, who are elected by the townspeople, must consider as candidates for town manager only professionals with relevant training and education for municipal government. A town manager who goes rogue can be fired by the council without requiring an election or a recall. Another option involves electing town meeting members, and so the beloved town meeting goes away under that option. The only options with an open town meeting are the one we have today, or the Selectmen Strong Manager town meeting that the voters rejected in 2005. Only the town council, town manager option responds to the issues we ask them to solve. The town manager, town council structure is in use by some 50 communities. It's all across Massachusetts. It's not new and untried. It's not an automatic opening to fraud and corruption, as some have said. It's much more appropriate to a $52 million town budget. It's a more responsive, flexible, and efficient form of government than what we have today. The town meeting is a wonderful idea, but it's both broken and obsolete. For a $52 million town budget to be controlled by 100 to 300 citizens is not representative government. We have reduced the quorum several times. It is now 150 people only for an annual town meeting to take place, and only 100 people if there's a need for a special town meeting. We often have to wait a half hour or more just to get that minimum quorum. A full 50 or so attendees are already part of the town government, so we're really only including 100 to 150 additional townspeople. Half of the agenda items are either routine or trivial and should never require being brought to the floor in the first place. Gadflies waste precious time. Voters' legitimate questions and concerns are often not fully responded to due to lack of data or experts at that meeting. Single issue voters block show up, control their pet issues, and then walk out. While the meeting obsesses over small dollar amounts for our beloved 4th of July parade or the animal control officers. Okay, these are facts. Maybe there are some fixes for the town meeting, but we will always be fighting citizen inattention, lack of information, voter distraction, and apathy. There's so much more going on in our lives than dealing with the day-to-day workings of municipal government. That's why the charter fits the bill. The charter actually enhances voter rights in many ways. The voters will be able to elect 7 councilors instead of 3 selectmen. So that's 7 councilors versus 3 selectmen. More representation, more ideas. Although the 1 or 2 town meetings would be gone, the charter would provide the right of any citizen to address the 7 councilors for a minimum of 12 times a year. If there's a need, they will meet more often, rather than just speaking at town meeting and hoping somebody might do something about an issue. I don't know about you, but it gets intimidating to walk to a microphone and talk in front of all your friends, neighbors, some are people you don't even know, and you're saying, I need to get my idea out, but you're nervous inside so you don't want to make a fool of yourself. Or you're intimidated that what you really want to say may not go over well with certain people that thought you were in favor as they were. So those are some issues that are real ones that we have asked, and it's been answered there. So rather than just speaking at town meeting and hoping somebody might do something about an issue, if the councilors fail to respond to the citizens who would have new rights of petition and referendum by which they could force change, just as they can today, but now only once a year at town meeting. The charter even provides a measure by which voters can force suspension of a measure already passed by the council pending a citizen vote to overturn it. If a councilor proves unsuited to the task or goes rogue, he or she can be recalled, unlike today. Sometimes it would only take 4 councilors, potentially it's been alleged, that could go rogue for a regular, but if it was a supermajority, you're talking about 5 councilors going rogue. What are the odds, honestly, that that would happen? Very unlike just 2 today going rogue, took over our town. We want it back, and charter enables that to take place. The charter contains a recall provision. Even before the charter, current 2 selectmen took over the town, we had experienced multiple problems with multiple selectmen. With just 3 selectmen, the constant turnover of one-term selectmen made the town inefficient, uncoordinated, and slow to act. The citizens raised this issue with the commission long before the town takeover on March 15, 2016. There is an effort underway to add a recall provision through town meeting. That's great, but that will require a vote at town meeting, then require both legislators, House of Representatives and Senators, to approve the language, and then back again for another townwide vote. It might take a year or longer. You see how Congress works. It's not fast. Or it might not even happen at all. Why not vote yes on the charter and have the recall provision immediately take effect? No sense waiting longer when you can have it take effect immediately by passing the charter. There are provisions for a smooth transition. All current bylaws remain in force. They are not changed when we go and vote the charter in. Currently, elected board members would serve out their terms, with the exception of the Board of Selectmen, which would cease to exist. Each board would have the same number of members as they currently do. Town employees would remain in their jobs unless jobs are affected by a reorganization under the town manager. The 2017 fiscal year budget will be approved at this May's town meeting. So there's no concern about going real fast, having to go through and take care of the budget. It is already prepared and ready to go for the May's town meeting. In the future, the budget will be created by the town manager and then needs to be approved by the town council. A lot of opposition to the charter is unduly pessimistic, misinformed, or emotional, and by a few. The main purpose of the charter is not to eliminate the selectmen or the town meeting. It's to give the town of East Long Meadow a 21st century structure that will be more efficient, more cooperative, and more responsible to the people. The town manager will have the power necessary to ensure that all boards and all departments of the town are coordinated, cooperative, and communicative with each other in serving the public's needs. But his or her power will be limited by the council, 7 councilmen that you elected, who as legislators will set the policies the manager must follow or be fired. There is a residency requirement for the town manager. The charter was made so that the residency issue could be waived by the council if they believed it to be in the best interest of the town of East Long Meadow. The charter is not fixed in stone. The council can amend it at any meeting if something's not working right. And the charter requires a complete review in just 4 years. Today, there is no requirement for any review. The budget process, the zoning bylaws, will actually have more and broader oversight than currently. There is only one new position being added. The other new position may be filled by current municipal employees. The bottom line, if you believe that the town of East Long Meadow residents will vote for 7 corrupt and incompetent counselors who will hire 1 corrupt or incompetent town manager, then you must vote no and retain the current corrupt and incompetent leadership that we now have in place. But if you think the voters of East Long Meadow will elect honest, intelligent counselors who love our town and will work to keep improving it, join us in voting optimistically for good government, for change. Vote yes on April 12th, 2016 at the Birchland Middle School, time from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And we thank you for your time and your consideration. And remember, vote yes for the East Long Meadow Home Rule Charter. Look on our Facebook page, Home Rule Charter, and also look on eastlongmeadowweather.org. That's eastlongmeadowweather.org for further updates as we get closer. Thank you for your time.